Well, good afternoon, paper crafters. Today's video tutorial features this origami dress using designer series paper. The inspiration for the dress came from a fellow Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Her YouTube channel is Taffy Crafting. I have used some of the new designer series paper. It is from Flowers for Every Season, the 6x6 designer series paper, and then some I have used retired paper. A lot of the inspiration also came from our Dress to Impress stamp and die set. Some of these I fussy cut out of retired designer series paper. Some I used ribbon, some of the jewels here also on the shoes. This was from retired designer series paper. This card here is for my granddaughter using the, I think it's Best Grandkid stamp set. I fussy cut the flowers out of designer series paper there and attach them to the shoes. And this is today's card tutorial. This is a smaller dress than this dress. This dress uses 6x6 paper. This dress uses 5x5 paper. And I used some of the leftover 5x5 designer series paper to stamp the shoes so that they match. I used our new gingham bumblebee ribbon, our new cinnamon cider embellishment here. This is a current lacy embossing folder, and our new punch that we have out. For the inside of the card, I just used from the Memories and More card pack, the Flowers for Every Season. So let's get started on this card. Don't forget though, you still have time to send me a birthday card in which I will feature or showcase your cards in a video tutorial at the end of June. Just leave me a comment at the bottom and I will mail you my address or email it to you or send it to you. For today's summer dress, this is some of the things you're going to need. Sentiment, some embellishments, and I also have some of our new bumblebee ribbon from the Dress to Impressed stamp and die set. I've decided to only use one of the cards from the Flowers for Every Season, Memories and More card pack. So this measures 4x3, and then I'm going to mat over it, or mat under it, excuse me, and that measures 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. Then my background for the front of my card is 6 3/4 by 4 3/4, and I have embossed that with the Lace Dynamic Textures Textured Impressions embossing folder. For the inside of my card, 6 3/4 by 4 3/4, and I've gone with So Saffron because my pattern paper is both the bumblebee and it looks like So Saffron, so that's for in that. Then to decorate my envelope, a 5x7 envelope, I have a leftover piece of the designer series paper. For my card base, it is 10 inches by 7 inches, and I've scored down the middle at 5 inches and folded and burnished that. And then to make the dress, it is a piece of designer series paper, and it is 5 by 5. And I have taken this paper from the Flowers for Every Season 6 by 6 card pack. And you can see there's tons of beautiful, beautiful paper with a lot of our new colors. And this is the one that I'm using today, is the back of this. So it comes 6 by 6, but I cut it down to 5 by 5. So what you're going to need to make the dress is take your 5 by 5 piece and pattern paper, and it is directional, so we need to make sure that we fold it so that the direction of the paper is in the upright direction. So what you're going to do is first just take it, fold it in half, and burnish it. So our direction is up and down. Then you're going to take it and bring this side over to meet the middle. Line it up all the way, and then fold and burnish that. Then you're going to turn it around and do exactly the same thing. Bring it all the way in. So then you have 4 evenly spaced score lines. So then what you're going to do is lay it, your top is up here, you're going to take this piece and you're going to bring it over, you're going to take this score line and bring it over to that score line to make a fold. So you just kind of have to pinch it together. And what I do is I bring it all the way to that score line, hold it down, and then gently keep looking and bring it down the other side. So then you will have that. Then I'm going to turn it around and do exactly the same thing. So I've got my score line here. I'm going to bring it up to this score line. So you just kind of have to grab hold the paper with your thumbs and your index fingers and bring it forward. Line it right up to that score line at the bottom is what I found is the easiest. And then just kind of go along. And then fold and burnish. So these two edges should meet up. Then what you're going to do is take your paper and fold it over in half. And so again, I just kind of lay it down and I line both of those edges up. Then I bring in my bone folder and press that down. Well, you want to make sure that your folds are really pressed down nicely. So again, this is the top of the dress. This is the bottom of the dress. So then what you're going to do, this is going to create the waist. And all you do is bring it up, and you don't really even need to measure it. You just want a little bit of a waist. And all I do is bring that up and fold it over. So you've got this kind of a fold. Now it looks like my paper tore, but that's okay. What we'll do is we will put some ribbon across that so it doesn't show. So then now that is what you have. So now we're going to fold our pleats. And what I do is I bring in my scoring tool to help with that. So what you're going to do is bring this over, and you want to bring it up. And sometimes you have to put your finger in here and push that in. You bring it up to right to the edge. And you see how that's crinkling there? So I bring it back a little bit, back toward me a little bit, and just fold that in there so that you have a nice fold there. And see how that edge, I've brought it up and it kind of connects right there, but you have this very nice little fold here and this fold there. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I bring my finger in and I pull my paper. Now you have to be gentle, and sometimes you just have to turn it just to see where you're going. And I just bring it forward a little bit. Close that down, and then I need this to fold in, or out, I mean. There. And then bring that there. So then that is our folds. Now, if you want to, and I've done this, I create another little fold here. Now, it's a little fiddly. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I just then bring those two in, pinch it in a little bit, and hold it in and create another little pleat. I think that adds just another little dimension to that. So again, turn it around. I'm going to bring this over to here, to that side, and push that in and create another small pleat. So that is the bottom. Now, to do the top, you're going to turn it over. And we have this score line down the middle here. And what you're going to do is fold this corner over to that score line to create a triangle. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Bring this in to create that triangle there. Okay, do you see how that is? Now we're going to open it up and bring this, it's going to be a little fiddly here for me. Bring this up and fold it to where these two score lines meet. So you just kind of have to push it in a little bit and then fold it down that way. So then you're left with that. Now we're going to make our sleeves. And what you're going to do for the sleeves is you bring this one in and you're going to bring it up to this area, but you got to be careful with this side here. So bring it in, meeting up both of these, the edge there to the score line there, but then you have to kind of finagle this and bring it in, and then you're going to create a pleat with this. So if this tears a little bit, it's not a big deal because it's going to be on the back of the card. So what I do is I just fold this over and kind of bring that to a point. And then fold and burnish that. Okay, let me show you again on this other side. So you're going to bring this top section over, as far over as you can, so that they meet there as much as possible, and then bring this, and occasionally I will bring in here my pokey tool to pull that out. And then what you're going to do is, because you want this edge here to be even, you're going to bring that forward and then bring this over to create another pleat. So then there's part of our dress. Now to finish this off, we need to make our sleeves. So what you're going to do now is grab this and bring it out, and you're just going to bring this point here to the edge and fold it over. So then you see how that point is there? As you turn it over, then that's your sleeve. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Bring this over, and you're going to watch this little corner here. Bring that over to a point. And again, sometimes you just need a little pokey tool to help you guide your paper without ripping it. There you go. And you're going to bring that over to also form a sleeve. And it looks like that one needs to come over just a tiny bit more. I'm going to bring that out a little bit more. There you go. I think that's a little bit better. Still looks like that sleeve needs to come over more. I think what has happened is I don't have it all the way to the end, so I'm trying to do it without tearing my paper. There we go. Do you see how that came over a little bit more? I think in the final card it won't matter that much, but and maybe it's the pattern of the designer series paper. Okay, so now what we're going to do is make our collar or your V-neck, and all you have to do is bring this over. Oops, I'm almost tearing it. Oops, we need to go backwards, sorry. We're going to bring this over and just bring that over, folding that. The same thing with this other side. Bring this over. I'm sorry, my instructions may not be that great, but what you have to do is just stop the video and start it again. And you know what? This points here. Maybe this is the problem. Ah, see, this needs to come over to that point. See, I'm like, what the heck's going on there? See, you got to have that point there, and that point there even. Then that looks correct. There you go. So that's our dress with our pleats. Cute, huh? And so it's very easy to put the card together from this point on. So I have my base. So now I'm going to emboss my cinnamon cider background piece using the Lace Dynamic Textured Impressions embossing folder. And because our embossing folder is not as big as our background piece, we need to run it through our machine twice. So what you will do is just make sure that you line it up very well like I'm doing there. Run it through your machine 2 times, and then once we glue our dress and shoes and sentiment over the top of it, you will hardly be able to notice that joined area. You see it right there? I'm going to attach this to here. I'm going to use a good strong liquid glue. And then I'm going to add the gingham bumblebee ribbon to the waist of the dress. And what I do is I put a little glue dot in the middle there. And then when I bring both of those sides over and attach them with Scotch tape, I bring them up angled ever so slightly so it follows the line of the waist. And then all I do is add some Stampin' Dimensionals to the back of the dress, mainly in the area where there are not pleats, so those pleats will stand up when it is glued to the background there. And you can see where I've attached them using both the regular size and the mini dimensionals. So then I have my shoes, and you can see by using the die, it does leave still a little bit of a edge here where the shoe doesn't look like it's as finished. So I just take a pair of paper snips and cut around that just to give it a little bit more finished look. Now as I finish up assembling the card, I'm going to put it on fast speed, add a little bit of music, and you can enjoy watching me complete this card. So now as I finish embellishing the card, I decide that the cinnamon cider enamel dots look better than the bumblebee dots, so I just add 3 to the middle of the dress using liquid glue. I really do hope that you have enjoyed this video tutorial as much as I have enjoyed making it for you. I believe this card is a fantastic card to give to a friend for their birthday. And there are so many beautiful Stampin' Up! Designer Series papers that you could use for this dress. I would like to thank each and every one of my subscribers, especially those that leave a comment. I have been so blessed that I've not had one negative comment on my YouTube channel. And that's because I believe paper crafters are just such nice people. I think this hobby that we have calms us down, relaxes us, and brings peace into our lives. Now, as I finish up the card, I wanted to decorate the envelope, so I just add a small strip of the leftover Designer Series paper to the front of the 5x7 envelope. As always, if you need any of the supplies that I've used, please visit my 24/7 online store at juanettehewitt.stampinup.net. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you will know when I upload a new video. And I hope each and every one of you are well and healthy and your families are doing well. And I'll see you soon.